welcome, Tim. So, for everyone, Tim is, a very active OMG member and, and contributing to the SysML v2 specs development very actively and over the years. And he's one of the leading educators trying to expand everyone's horizon, what can be done with SysML v2. So a pleasure to have you here, Tim, in Vilnius.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to your talk.
So where are my slides? There it is. No. And I click on it. Oh. I have no laptop here. I cannot do anything. Ah, yeah, it's working. There's 4 back. Perfect. But the video is not running, but that's not important. Okay. So it's about SysML v2 adoption in organizations. And I will not provide a process now how to do this, and not in 15 minutes. It's similar to what before Hugo presented or Robert. It's more about some observations, how people perceive SysML v2 when they get in touch with this new language. I gave a similar presentation 2 months ago at the OMG meeting that was mainly about SysML v2 in classrooms, but well, that's typically the first step in the adoption of SysML v2 in an organization, that people start learning it and they are part of a training. So let's have a look. Now the video runs. So there are different moods when people perceive SysML v2. Some are happy, some are surprised, some are... But yeah, let's have a look. Here we go. So that's me. I'm Tim, and users already introduced me. I also wrote a book together with Vince. He's here in the room. It's a pre-release, the SysML v2 book. It will be the SysML v2 book. It's only a pre-release. It has 250 to 300 pages now, and we expect more than 800 pages. So SysML v2 is a big thing. So we're still working on it. Yeah, and the following is about some personal observations on SysML v2. So it's not based on a structured analysis or a study or whatever, but personal observations. So I'm an MBSE consultant and trainer, so I have some experiences from courses and consulting experiences since a very long time. So I have to also look on my slides here. So I started with UML 2001. That's a long time ago. With SysML v1, and then in 2005 in projects, so in organizations. We started with SysML v1 in 2003, if I remember correctly. And SysML v2 already 2021, there were some very, very early adapters with SysML v2. So I made around some 100 UML SysML v1 courses since then, I guess, with probably several thousand people, countless consulting projects. In SysML v2, around 20 courses, I think, with around 150 to 200 people, and also several consulting projects. So a lot of people that I met that were in contact with SysML v2. No academic courses yet, by the way. I'm also a lecturer for a master course, but we still do SysML v1. And we have the SysML v2 club thing, this online learn platform. There are also many people in there. Well, it's more indirect communication with the participants, but we also get some feedbacks. There. Okay. So in this course, there's somewhere the number around 250 to 300 people also there. So the following is based on a feedback from around 500, 600, 700 people. So let's start with the positive feedbacks. And most feedbacks are positive about SysML v2. And the people love the textual notation. So that's one of the first feedbacks I get from the people. The textual notation, that's great. They love it. And I was surprised. They often say, well, sometimes it's much easier to read textual notation than the graphical notation. Maybe except the behavior stuff. So state machines, actions, are quite tough in the textual notation, but all the other parts are really good to read. And in particular for beginners, so they have not to learn, so what does this arrow means and this box means, but it stands there. Oh, this is a requirement. There stands the word requirement and the word part and the word action and so forth. And the people love the consistency of the language. So it's the same way you model parts and part structures as modeling actions and action structures and so forth. So that's also very positive. And nothing happens when I click here. That's the computer. Oh. Yeah, some more positive feedbacks. Well, people love the modeling of structures. It's quite intuitive. It's very easy to model a structure. In particular, the ports. And if you know the SysML v1 ports, full port, proxy port, standard port, flow port, interface block, interface, flow property, and so forth. And in SysML v2, it's just a model port with the properties. And well, many of those people were already MBSE experts. No, they were early adapters, so they were already MBSE experts. And many of them say, well, SysML v2 is actually a door opener for real MBSE. So in the past, we draw nice pictures, but now we can do the real MBSE stuff. So they really love that in SysML v2. Yeah. Yeah. Do I click or do you click? Of course, there were also some negative feedbacks. Let's call them challenges. Well, the people are a little bit confused with all these specialization kinds. In particular, if the people are familiar with that, they do not understand why definition is a specialization. And yeah, reference and cross-subsetting are very tough concepts. I try to avoid to explain them to my students if possible, but well, if you do perform actions or other stuff, it's there and it's visible in the text notation, and the people ask, oh, what does this mean, this symbol? Oh my God, no. Now I have to explain the reference subsetting relationship. That's tough. Yeah, and all these special shorthand notations, they are also tough. And it's very easy to mix them up. And the dangerous thing is that if you mix them up, it's still syntactically correct, so you don't get a negative feedback from the tool. It's semantically wrong, but syntactically it's still correct if you mix up subsetting with redefinition or so. Yeah, definition and usage, these concepts are also tough. People ask when to use what's the difference to an instance. Yeah, just have a look in the Google release group. You find lots of discussions about the difference of definition and usage, and we will see those discussions, I guess, for the several next months or years. Flows and messages are also challenging, in particular setting the ends. That also confuses the people. That's also not easy. For example, very often I see messages that are modeled from a part A to a part B. That works. Again, syntactically correct, semantically not what you would like to have. It means if the part A is destroyed, so the part is destroyed, then you send the message. And well, it's not on the slides. It looks like the form looks a little bit different. Setting the values is also a challenge for many people. It's not just A equals 4 or so, then you have a binding. So what's the difference between a binding and an assignment, and what's the default value? So that's also a little bit tough for people to understand. Next. Oh, that was too fast. But come back to this one, the door opener for real MBSE. It's really a gateway to engineer's paradise. And at the gateway is a woman with a banana, by the way. Well, of course, it's AI generated with Gemini. The AI image generator from Google is named Banana, if you know this. So my prompt was, please generate an image with banana that shows the engineer's paradise. And what I got is an image with banana. So it's there. But behind, you see the engineer's paradise. Yeah, so SysML is a game changer. No? It has big impact. I know that some, in particular, managers don't like this because it destroys everything. You have to start again with the adoption of the language and buying tools, etc. But it has a big impact. But it's a door opener for software engineers. The text notation is really a door opener there. That's great. And we have a huge gap between systems engineers and software engineers in organizations, and this reduces the gap a lot. So Simon Roth from Bosch is a good example for that, and I think it was he gave a presentation 2 years ago at the SysML v2 conference exactly about that topic. well, it's also a door opener for these guys. No, it's for LLM. First time AI was, no, there was an AI presentation here, but not so many AI presentation. I was at the German TDSE conference last week, and all the presentations were about AI. Yeah, and the API is also, of course, well perceived by the people. They see the benefit of it. No? They see, wow, that's actually really what we need, this enabler for tool interoperability. And, well, yeah, but also what I hear in organizations is, well, how should I start? There's SysML 2, and where's the starting point? What's the first next step? And which tool should I use? Well, there's so many tools and so many new tools like C-Size, completely different. In the past for SysML 1, there were, in the end, 3 or 4 tools. No? But now we have a broad spectrum of tools that we can choose from. And that's also what I hear when I say, oh, I'm actually the co-chair of the SysML 2.1 RTF. Oh, there will be a 2.1, so okay, let's wait for 2.1. So I said, no, don't wait for 2.1. Because if you wait for 2.1, then we start with the work on 2.2 and so forth. And 2.1 will not be, well, for the normal user, not a big thing. So of course we will do a lot of changes, but more on the behind the scenes. It's important for the tool vendors, probably we do a lot of bug fixes, and we will also add some new features here and there, but it should not stop you starting with SysML 2. Yeah, that's of course also a question. What happens with my SysML 1 models? There's a transformation specification, and there will also be some implementations of that. So you can transform them, but the technical part is only the smaller part of it. Yeah, and that's also what I often hear. Well, we just implemented SysML 1 in our organization. We cannot kick off the next MBSE adoption project, so no way. Okay. Yeah, and then I see these two. Well, the first one's typical German, maybe European, but more German maybe. Let's think it through very carefully. So let's start a project to think about it. And then in a few months, we start the next project and so forth. Whereas the other ones, that's probably more American, just do it and let's see what happens. So let's buy a tool, let's start a project, let's go. And as usual, the in-between is probably the best way. You need both. Here we go. Yeah, the final slide. It's with sound. It's interesting. Yeah, that's the usual stuff if you start something new. No? So if new things comes around the corner, start early with it. Don't wait. Start now. It's a big thing, SysML 2. It's nothing you can do overnight. So if you don't start today, when will you start? Next year or 2 years? And your competitors, they already start with it. No? So start early, inspect and adapt, the usual thing. Look for low-hanging fruits so that you get early positive feedback in your organization. People say, hey, now this solves my problems and so forth. And also important, SysML 2 is not SysML 1. It's really different. You can use SysML 2 like SysML 1, but then you don't get all the benefits. So it's a different language. It requires different methods, different mindsets. So it's different. Yeah, so and I think that's it. That's the last slide. Am I on time?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
no, close it.
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.